This out, new video today of SWAT teams swarming a home in Ferguson, Missouri. The show of force coming just hours after two police officers were injured, shot during a demonstration following the resignation of the city's police chief. That came yesterday following an investigation going back to the shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Brown by an officer last summer. The violence bringing tough words from the Attorney General.
What happened last night was a pure ambush. What happened last night was a pure ambush. This was not someone trying to bring healing to Ferguson. This was a damn punk. The
continued violence and vandalism at these protests putting law enforcement on edge across the nation. And 7 News reporter Lindsay Watts live in Aurora with more on the impact to our men and women in blue. Lindsay?
Eric, Aurora police tell me they are going to be keeping a close eye on the protesters who have already started to gather here at the municipal building. Nichelis Vincent's family is right over here. And as you can see, law enforcement is ready as well. There are about a dozen police officers right across the courtyard. Police aren't saying whether they are increasing patrols because of the shootings in Ferguson. The St. Louis County Police Chief says it was by God's grace his officers weren't killed last night. One shot in the shoulder, the other in the face.
Right here.
A protest that started peacefully, erupting in violence. We've seen it before in Ferguson and beyond. In Denver, protesters vandalized the fallen officers' memorial.
What it does is it puts the police on edge.
Former Arvada police officer Joseph Sandoval teaches criminal justice at Metro State. He says this backlash against police brings more stress on the job and tensions with the public to new highs.
If there is that us versus they mentality, it creates this big gap, this big chasm that is difficult to bridge.
But he says protests are also inspiring an important conversation about use of force and accountability.
It's always good for organizations to look at themselves, to look within and make sure that it is carrying out its function in the best possible way.
Yesterday's protest in Aurora stayed calm. The organizer says they will not resort to the very thing they're standing up against.
We know people are angry, we know people are frustrated, but we don't want a situation like what you had in Ferguson with riots, with property damage, with people losing their lives.
That organizer says one of the things that protesters want to know more about is that officer that shot Nichelis Vincent. He says they want his police record released since so much attention has been paid to Vincent's own long criminal past. We're live in Aurora. Lindsay Watt, 7 News.